This right here is my favorite thing ever in the history of forever. I think about this every day. I think about this all night long. I stay awake, not sleeping, because I'm thinking about this.
Well, here we go. My favorite movie in all of Toy Story, and quite possibly my favorite sequel of all time, Toy Story 2. There is just so much things that work about this movie. First of all, like the plot, the pacing, the villain, the main characters, the side characters, all of them are great. Like like I cannot think of one sequel that I would consider perfect, except for Toy Story 2. Toy Story 2, and quite possibly Scooby Doo 2 Monsters Unleash, is what I consider to be perfect sequels. Sequels that expand the universe, add in new elements that make the original movie so great in the first place, and finally of all, making the characters more enjoyable and better than ever. And that is the case with Toy Story 2. Now, before we get into the plot, I know a lot of people have talked about why they love Toy Story 2 and why it's so great. So my opinion is not original, just letting you know. But some of the takes I do make in this video are my own takes. So yeah, anyways, let's get into this masterpiece of a movie. Oh boy. So the film starts with the most iconic opening to any Toy Story movie, that being the Buzz Lightyear video game scene beginning, where Buzz gets killed off by Zurg as like the game over for Rex, and like Buzz has to like destroy the enemies and destroy Zurg, which he fails to destroy Zurg, and Zurg has like a massive laugh, like saying that he destroyed him. And not to mention, the music in this scene is absolutely banging. Oh my god, I highly recommend you go listen to it. It's so amazing. Then we have the next scene of the movie, that being Woody is trying to find his hat, but keeps failing. And the other toys are also trying to find Woody's hat along with him. Now, and this shows, so basically in this scene, Bo Peep tries to comfort Woody by telling him that Andy will love him no matter whether he has his hat or not, which I think is such a wholesome scene, and definitely great in Bo Peep's character development. He was just known as Woody's girlfriend in the first movie, but to see her supporting Woody is actually amazing. Can you think of another couple in animated movies that support each other? Well, I can't really think of any. But yeah, such a wholesome scene this is, just comforting Woody because he's lost his hat and thinks it's the end of the world. But thankfully, Slinky has good news and bad news. The good news being that he found Woody's hat. And remember when I compared Woody being bold in Toy Story 2 to my Toy Story 5 rant? Yep, this is the scene I'm talking about right here. And so let's continue. So the good news is that he found Woody's hat, which he says thank you a lot of times to Slinky for finding his hat because it means a lot to him. And then the bad news is how Slinky found it, because Buster wants Woody's hat. He basically wants Woody pretty much. And he finds Woody and he licks him, but then Woody does the reach for the sky shoot thing, and he says, "Who's gonna miss me? Who's gonna miss me?" Which is just such a nice relationship with the dog and a toy. Mostly people would say humans, in this universe, humans don't see toys coming to life, well, except for Sid from the first movie. But to see the dog seeing a toy come to life although dogs can't talk, but it's actually so funny. It's so funny that he just interacts with the dog with no problems at all. It's actually so hilarious. And now here we come to one of Pixar's most saddest scenes in any of their movies. That's right, I'm talking about none other than the Woody ripping his arm off scene. My god. My boy Woody has had his arm ripped off by Andy, although it was an accident. And Andy's mum says toys don't last forever, which is very, very true. And I think this scene is like very, very sad, but also really well made at the same time. Here, I'm gonna play a clip of the scene for you.
What happened? Woody's been shelved. Huh? Andy!
It sure beats this scene from Toy Story 4.
Okay. Forky's still in there. If we hurry, we can get him before they lock him up.
You want us to go back in there?
Barely got out alive. Woody, it's better if we wait. No. There's no time. We can easily get back inside. But I saw Bonnie. By my count, there were only 4 dummies.
But the
and we
backpack.
outnumbered them, so we have the advantage.
Woody, look at us! Nobody is with you. It's over, okay?
No. We are wasting time. We can do this.
Come on, pull strings.
It's not worth it.
Yeah, yes, listen to her.
Nobody wants this.
I do.
Why?
Because.
Why?
Just because.
Why?
Because it's all I have left to do. I don't have anything else.
So the rest of us don't count?
That's not what I meant. Bonnie needs Forky.
No, you need Bonnie. Open your eyes, Woody. There's plenty of kids out there. It can't be just about the one you're still clinging to.
It's called loyalty. Something a lost toy wouldn't understand.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care. Let me tell you, we don't care.
I mean, for God's sakes, it's not even a comparison. Like, my god. And now here we come to the one and only Woody's nightmare scene, where Woody has a nightmare of Andy saying goodbye to him because he's got a broken arm. Now, I find this scene so hilarious. He's like this, no, Andy! But also, I find it so sad as well, because, like, his Andy's voice is so creepy. He's like, bye, Woody. And he's like, no, Andy, don't leave me. Like, yeah, it's so hilarious. My god, it's like peak comedy, but also emotional at the same time. It's like, I feel so bad for poor Woody. He's just being treated like hell. I mean, don't get me started on how he treated him in Toy Story 5. You all know how I feel about that movie. When Woody wakes up from his horrible nightmare, he discovers that he found Wheezy. He found Wheezy. And he's also found out that there's a yard sale happening, so he tries to protect Wheezy, but not until Andy's mum comes in and takes him, so Woody needs to go, get the dog, and save the day by saving Wheezy back and taking him back to Andy's room successfully. But then the second Wheezy got back home, the second Al got Woody. And that's exactly what happens in the next scene. Al McWiggum, he is such a funny villain, but he's not the best. But don't worry, the best will come when it comes, alright? Anyways, back to Al McWiggum. Al McWiggum sees Woody, and then finds his hat, and then he covers it up so then they don't notice it, but Andy's mum does notice it. And then Al has a secret plan to get Woody, and unlocks the key, and then takes Woody, while Buzz tries to get Woody back home successfully without being caught by the humans. And this is such a fantastic scene, and just shows how much of an evil man Al is, which is good in my book. So Buzz Lightyear is making a plan to get Woody back with his friends Rex, Ham, Slinky, and Mr. Potato Head. So he basically tries to find out who kidnapped Woody, But then he eventually finds out that it's the Chicken Man, aka Al McWiggum. Now, since Woody's in Al's apartment, he finds two other toys from the same set as him, Jessie and Bullseye. And I think Jessie and Bullseye are very good characters to include in a sequel like this, as this is basically showing the character development of Woody and Buzz pretty much. So it's pretty good to see that there's two other toys that come with this set as well. And there's also a third character that comes with this set as well, which I will save later in this video. The next scene of the movie, Buzz and the gang are trying to look for the Owl's Toy Barn advert to see where he is on the television, and they eventually do find him, which, by the way, this scene is an actual meme, by the way, and it's so funny when Ham just constantly keeps pressing the same button so fast. It's actually crazy. Then after that, since Buzz managed to find the advert, he gets a group of toys, those being the side characters, to come with him on the quest. Oh yeah, remember when the side characters were actually part of the main story and not just pushed as background characters? I wonder which movies in the Toy Story franchise do that. Meanwhile, while Woody's at Al's apartment with Jessie and Bullseye, they watch the television on Woody's Roundup. But the sad truth is, once the episode was gonna continue the series, unfortunately, Woody found out that Woody's Roundup has been cancelled, and he's really upset about that. But then he finds all the merchandise that they've got over the years, and he's not upset anymore. But then, just in the last second, Jessie and Bullseye find Woody's owner, and they are absolutely upset and heartbroken by this fact. They are so upset at Woody for having an owner, and it's actually, you can actually understand it from their point of view, but at the same time, you can also understand Woody's point of view, as he feels like he doesn't want to be in the museum, and he wants to stay with Andy and be played with forever, like he said in the first movie. But Jessie, on the other hand, and Bullseye, they'll go back into storage forever if Woody leaves them behind. So yeah, you can understand it from both points of views. So since Woody thinks Jessie turned on the television, they both have a big fight. Oh, and look at that. It's a complete direct match to the first fight from the first movie when Woody fighted Buzz. How strange. And then the next scene of the movie is none other than the iconic crossing scene. And what makes this scene so great is the fact that the only words that are used are drop. Yes, I'm not joking. The only word that's used in this scene is drop. And I guess technically I said drop by Buzz Lightyear, which Buzz Lightyear said. And at the end of it, Mr. Potato said, "Oh, well that went well." Yeah, it really did. Also, I need to talk about Mr. Potato Head in this movie. Mr. Potato Head in this movie, Toy Story 2, is much better than he was in the first movie. He actually cares about Woody more, and he actually is more worrying for other toys like Rex. And Mr. Potato Head is just a better character overall in Toy Story 2 than he was in Toy Story 1. Now obviously I probably always will and still love Toy Story 1. But I just didn't like Mr. Potato Head of how rude he was in that movie. But I am pretty glad to say that Mr. Potato Head was definitely improved in Toy Story 2, which is pretty damn awesome. The next scene of the movie is extremely iconic, as it's the old man from the Pixar short Jerry's Game, as he starts to fix up Woody. So then, since the toys are at Al's Toy Barn, Buzz Lightyear gets caught by the fake Buzz Lightyear, which is called Utility Belt Buzz Lightyear, and gets beaten up by him, and locks him in a rocket. Meanwhile, the other toys have found a car, and they found a Barbie doll that drives the car, called Tour Guide Barbie, where they basically show them, like, all of the toys in Al's Toy Barn. Oh yeah, and while the toys are at Al's Toy Barn, Woody gets fixed by the old man from Glenn's, game, like I said earlier. So yeah, Woody gets all fixed up, and then Al takes, like, a bunch of photos of Woody to show, like, how, like, amazing the toy is, and showing the museum the toys, which will, like, make him, like, money. And then we have the most emotional scene in this movie, that being none other than the When She Loved Me scene. Now, my god, this is probably the best scene in this movie, showing Jessie's backstory, showing how she feels, like, when Emily is, like, all gone and no more Emily. It's just very sad. It's just such an emotional story, and you can understand Jessie's point of view. This is probably the best scene in this movie. Although, if you want to hear, like, my even better thoughts on this scene, then you can go watch my Toy Story 5 review. Meanwhile, the toys are still looking for Woody. In boxes, on the table, all over Al's office. But the toys are very unsuccessful on finding Woody in Al's office. While the toys are still looking for Woody, Buzz then breaks free from his box and then leaves Al's Toy Barn, with the toys leaving Al's Toy Barn in Al's bag. But unfortunately, since he pushes all the stuff over, one of the boxes has Emperor Zurg in, and he breaks out and he goes after Buzz. And to be honest, I consider Emperor Zurg to be the third villain of this movie. Al, Emperor Zurg, and the final one I will mention when we get to him. But then, just at the second they were nearly gonna go, Buzz and the toys finally come back to save Woody. But it turns out that Woody wants to go to the museum in Japan, and he doesn't really like Buzz's, like, idea of going back home. And then there's this, like, really wholesome scene and really emotional scene of, like, Woody, like, not wanting to go back home. I'll play it.
Without me, they'll go back into storage. Maybe forever.
Woody, you're not a collector's item. You're a child's plaything. You are a toy!
For how much longer? One more rip and Eddie's done with me. And what do I do then, Buzz, huh? You tell me.
Somewhere in that pat of stuffing is a toy who taught me that life's only worth living if you're being loved by a kid. And I traveled all this way to rescue that toy. Because I believed him.
Well, you wasted your time.
I mean, my god. Like, I can literally understand it from both points of views. Buzz obviously wants to take Woody back home with him, along with the rest of the toys. But Woody, on the other hand, he just wants to stay and be a collector's thing forever. And because he's worried, and the reason why he needs to go, is so then the other toys don't get storaged, because otherwise he'll be all upset and all sad that the other toys his friends will never see again. So you can understand it from both points of views. And I just love it that when he says, well, you wasted your time. Like he really did. Oh my god. Like, that's actually insane for a kid's movie to say stuff like that. So then, once Buzz leaves Al's apartment, Woody watches a song of You've Got a Friend in Me that he sings on his show Woody's Roundup, which is cancelled. So he sits on, like, a piece of tape and basically watches, and then realises the fact that going to the museum in Japan is the wrong option. So he decides to go back to Buzz and say to him, look, I'm sorry, like, for what I said to you earlier. And yeah, that's basically it. And he also tries to get Woody and Bullseye and Stinky Pete to come back with him. Oh yeah, it's probably a good time I talk about Stinky Pete now, since I haven't really mentioned him yet. Yes, I can finally talk about this villain. Stinky Pete is the greatest villain in all of Toy Story. Full stop. Just completely full stop. Like, I cannot tell you how amazing this villain is portrayed in this movie. Like for the whole movie, he's just sick of owners. He's been sick for the whole movie because he's never been brought in a shop, and he's been pretty much like nothing to anybody. And to see him like crash out, and because Woody's leaving with his friends and won't go to the museum where they'll be loved forever, which is understandable. You can understand his reasons for why he doesn't want to go, to like Andy's and like, you know, be played with. He just wants to go to the museum and be loved by millions and millions of kids over the generations with Woody, Jessie and Bullseye. And this line right here is what I consider peak cinema.
You're out of your box.
I tried reasoning with you, Woody, but you keep forcing me to take extreme measures.
Wait a minute, you turned on the TV last night, not Jessie.
Look, we have an eternity to spend together in the museum. Let's not start off by pointing fingers, shall we?
You really are Stinky Pete, aren't you?
Prospector, this isn't fair!
Fair? I'll tell you what's not fair. Spending a lifetime on a dime store shelf watching every other toy be sold. Well, finally my waiting has paid off, and no hand-me-down cowboy doll is gonna mess it up for me now. Buzz.
Yeah, like, my god, what a fantastic scene. And literally, I'm not joking when I say this, every time I watch that scene, whenever I watch Toy Story 2, I always say the lines that Stinky Pete said. Fair? I'll tell you what's not fair. Spending a lifetime on a dime storage shelf, watching every other toy be sold. But now my waiting's paid off, and no hand on cowboy doll is gonna mess it up for me now. Like, that just gets me all the time. It's just such a great line. It's just such a great line delivery for a movie like this. And also, my favourite part of this whole section isn't that line, but it's how Stinky Pete turns off the TV with his axe. Here, let me play a few clips to show you. Like, I don't know why, but it's just so funny to me for, like, no reason at all. So, since the third villain of this movie, Emperor Zurg, appears, Buzz and the other toys have to fight him while trying to get Woody back, since Woody gets, kidnapped by Owl again, like, along with Jessie, Bullseye and the Stinky Pete. So they basically have to fight him while saving Woody at the same time, which is just so well made. And then once the toys and the Buzz Lightyear defeat Zurg, they get into the Pizza Planet truck from Toy Story 1. And my god, this chase scene is so iconic. Like, the cone scene was iconic, but this scene is way more iconic and more funnier to watch than the cone scene, which only had the word drop in it. But that was still pretty good though. So they get to the airport in the Pizza Planet truck, and once they leave, they can't park anywhere, which is really hilarious. Once Buzz and the rest of the toys get to the airport, they deal with Stinky Pete along with Woody for ripping his arm off. And now Stinky Pete is now with a girl named Amy who really likes Barbies, and they're going to give him a makeover, which is just, yeah, very, very well storytelling there. Bravo, Pixar, bravo. Although I've praised most of this movie anyway, so I guess I could give bravos to pretty much every scene in this movie. So they basically, get, like I said earlier, they get Stinky Pete in the bag of Barbie with Amy, Kid, and then that's how it ends. And we end with Stinky Pete going like he's gonna absolutely hate being played with. And then here we come, the climax of Woody's roundup, that being in the plane chase scene. apparently Bullseye can run, like, as the speed of an aeroplane, like, how, like, it moves for some reason, which is actually insane, first off. And then Woody puts his pull string onto a part of the plane, so then they can do the climax of Woody's Roundup that never ever happened in the actual show. And then once they do it, and then they claim it as Woody's finest hour, which is definitely a very good take. And thankfully, they all land down to the ground, and then Woody says, "Let's go home." And then all the toys, including the other toys that are still in the airport, they all go home, back home, safely, safe and sound. And then all the toys from the airport, not from Andy's, they all go back home to Andy's house safely sounded. And then Andy says, "Oh wow, new toys, thanks Mom," when he sees Jessie and Bullseye. And then they play, and then he plays with them, and then he gets Woody's arm repaired, and it's all just a happy ending. And then we get this moment right here near the ending.
You still worried? About Andy? Nah, it'll be fun while it lasts. I'm proud of you, cowboy. Besides, when it all ends, I'll have old Buzz Lightyear to keep me company. For infinity and beyond.
You're gonna see it's our destiny. You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. Yeah.
So that was it, people. That was my Toy Story 2 movie review. And oh my god, this movie's a masterpiece. Like, my god, this movie... I mean, seriously, Toy Story 1 and Toy Story 2 are probably going to be the only movies in this series I'll ever watch, like, millions and millions of times ever again. Because they're the only ones in the series that I actually like. I actually enjoy them. And I find them very good. Anyways, I rate Toy Story 2 a 9 out of 10. It's really, really good. Anyways, now sorry if I'm not talking about the bloopers, because I don't want this video to get as long as it already is. So, but anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you didn't, then that's completely fine. Anyways, peace out.